So with the slew of new remakes that are coming out every year, Poltergeist has now become officially a victim of being remade into a movie in the year of 2015. Before I go into my review of this movie, I just gotta give a shout out to my friends Esteban, Antonio, Samuel, Robert, Alan, Angel, Drew. There's a lot more, but I gotta give a shout out to my boys because we saw this movie and let's just say I had a lot of fun, but the reason why we had a lot of fun is because we were making fun of the movie. Poltergeist. So Poltergeist is the remake of the classic horror film Poltergeist. It came out 20 years ago. Let me be honest with you, I haven't seen the original one. I wanted to see it, but I was like, oh, well, might as well. I'm already going to see it, so too late. But I know what that movie has done as a horror film and how much inspiration a lot of these horror films have taken away from the Poltergeist film. Nowadays, every horror film has the same layout. A new family moves into a new home. The kid, the daughter's always the one who's talking with the ghost. The dad, he always has trouble with his work. The mom always has to stay home. And you know, typical bullcrap that happens in every horror film. And I'm not going to give flack to that for Poltergeist because it's a remake of the original film and that's how the original film was. But as a movie, it's not good. Now there are redeeming qualities within the film. It's not a god-awful film. It's not completely terrible. There are good stuff within the film. First off, the biggest positive that I gotta give off to this movie is Sam Rockwell. He was definitely the best actor in this entire movie. He gave a really real performance. You saw in his eyes, like there's just one scene where he's actually starting to cry. You're like, you actually get me invested into this movie, Sam. He actually gets you invested into this movie when you're already not even that invested into it. The cinematography also too, for some of the shots that they had, was actually pretty good. For a horror film, I was like, wow, okay, this is getting good. The atmosphere, the tone, the way they set it up, everything was good. I was like, okay. Even though I said Sam Rockwell was the best part of this whole movie, but the acting was not terrible either. The acting was actually pretty good. Some of the kids, the way they reacted, it was pretty unbelievable, but the way that some of the kids acted, I was like, okay, I can actually see these kids actually look like they're genuinely afraid. But there were some times where the kids were like, yeah, that's the problem with kid actors. Other than those things, that's pretty much it. Poltergeist is just, the thing is just run of the mill. It's generic and, of course, it's full of jump scares. Like how I said, the same thing with the Ouija. Jump scares don't scare people, and I'm afraid that people are going to think jump scares are scary now. I hope it does not happen. So apparently when a squirrel comes out and just makes a loud noise, that's apparently scary. Or when a bunch of dolls fall from the ceiling and makes a loud noise, that apparently is scary. Or when someone goes to someone's shoulder and goes like that and makes a loud noise, that's scary now? No. No, that's just a cheap scare. That's just lazy. The problem with this remake is that what worked with Poltergeist worked back in '85 because not that many horror films were doing the same format. But nowadays, every horror film has the same exact format. New family moves into a new house and chaos ensues. So when you watch this remake, it's like, why bother when I could watch the original one, the one that pretty much started it all? If a horror film has like 2 jump scares just for fun, like, okay, I wouldn't mind. But when it's like throughout the whole movie, I'm just like, no. And since you're not invested into the movie enough, the movie's actually pretty boring. Now there is this 5-minute sequence that's happening inside the house that was actually quite intense. And at some points it's actually kind of scary. And you're like, oh, okay, this is fun. Like you're having so much fun with this scene. It's a 5-minute scene that happens in the house. You're like, oh, alright, this is cool. I like this a lot. But that one scene does not save this entire movie that was just dreadful, generic, and pretty much bland. So overall, Poltergeist, while not being a terrible remake, is still not a good film. It was definitely not as bad as I was expecting it to be. Because I was thinking it was going to be bad as a Ouija, but it's not as bad as a Ouija. They could have done a lot more stuff with this material, but they didn't do it. So I'm going to give Poltergeist a D+. It is not a terrible movie, by all means, but if you're going to go see this movie, you're like, have a group of friends, hey, you want to go see Poltergeist? Immediately just go to them and say, no, let's go see Mad Max, okay? Alright, thank you. So guys, that is my review for Poltergeist. What did you guys think of the movie? Did you guys like it? Or did you guys didn't like it? Please let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching my video, and as always, ladies and gentlemen, have a nice day.